Recreational marijuana will soon be legal in New Jersey. The key word being soon. And Howell Police Chief Andrew Kudrick wants the public to know that marijuana is still prohibited and will be enforced.
It's still illegal. Marijuana is still illegal in New Jersey. Even though it passed, the recreational use of marijuana has passed by the voters, it's still illegal. There's still no law drafted up. There's some samples. I know that they're going back and forth trying to figure out what's actually going to be inside that law, which is kind of confusing as to you ask voters to vote on the law that there actually is no law right now.
Chief Kudrick is in favor of medicinal marijuana, especially when Howell's own Honig family, who pushed for the legalization of medical cannabis while their 7-year-old son battled cancer. But the chief is concerned that recreational use will be a disaster for the community.
It's going to become a problem for us and a problem with our community. Even though it was overwhelmingly passed by 2/3 throughout Monmouth County, I don't know the statistics for Howell, but I can assume that it mirrors Monmouth County. So it's something that we have to recognize that it's accepted by the community, but I don't believe that they understand the consequences that are going to come with that.
Unlike alcohol, where you would use a breathalyzer to determine whether or not somebody's under the influence, with marijuana, there is still no device that would be able to detect impairment other than a trained officer.
There's no type of instrument right now that can detect somebody that's impaired under marijuana, unlike alcohol, where we have an intoxilizer.
Howell Township was one municipality that faced an opioid crisis that shook the town. The last thing Chief Kudrick wants for Howell is a setback.
Howell was in the top 15 in the state on opioid-affected municipalities. We got hit very hard here. It was something that we were preparing for it, but we didn't realize we were going to get hit that hard. We're not in an inner city, highly densely populated community. We were at 55,000 spread out. However, we were adversely affected. We overcame that through education, through enforcement, through our recovery efforts, engaging our community resources that we have here in town. And we know that everybody that has had an opioid problem first started out by smoking marijuana.
The main concern of his will be training officers to detect marijuana use, especially on the roadways.
You'll see people on both sides of the issue have stats that prove their point. But when you look at the hard data from Colorado Department of Transportation, the number of traffic fatalities as a result of marijuana impairment has increased dramatically. We usually lead the county. We're in the top in the state with the detection of impaired drivers. So right from the beginning, we knew that we had to have some enhanced training on this in order to detect those that were impaired strictly by marijuana.
If there was ever a time to legalize marijuana, Chief Kudrick thinks this is the worst time to do it.
They are passing this at the worst possible time. They're trying to expedite it. They're shoving it down the voters' throats. Now is not the time. You're in the middle of a pandemic. We're just getting over a major opioid epidemic in this state, and now they're presenting the community. They're introducing legalized marijuana.
Reporting from Howell Township for New Jersey News Network, I'm Kimberly Kravitz.